Yeah, go. Hey, Kristian, good evening.
Good evening, Daniel, my friend. Yeah, we're live
Well,
again. Our second
yes,
time.
yeah, very nice. I really enjoyed the first stream that we have. Oh, sorry, just let me turn off the audio on my other computer. I really
Okay.
enjoyed the last time when we discussed our trips in Switzerland.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very nice, and it was the first time we tried it, but it felt good. We got some really nice feedback, and yeah, as we knew, and hopefully it happens again. There were a lot of people very interested, and now we are talking about something else, but it's always about crystals and our passion to find them. So
Exactly.
that won't be a problem.
Exactly. And for those of you who are familiar with the location, you can already see it on the new background that we have. It's the famous stone quarry Juchem.
Yes. The quarry in Germany. It's in the area of either Oberstein, but I really think when you are well, I have to say when you were searching for crystals there, because at the moment there are some issues with opening the quarry. You can see that everyone who was there really liked the environment. It's really from Europe one of the most known locations
Yep.
for quality of amethyst, calcite, and diverse other things like agate also. But it's really famous.
Yeah.
So if you don't know it, you'll get to know it after this live stream.
I think most people who know either Oberstein as
Yeah,
the gemstone capital of Europe, or at least of Germany, and then this quarry
yeah.
indeed is the most famous one, where a lot of these nice geodes that you have on your background, and I have one lying
As
right
you can
there,
see,
and also some on
yes,
the ground
yes.
here, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. But yeah, it's a really fun location, and unfortunately, as you said, it's closed until further notice. But
Yeah,
that won't stop us from telling you what we've experienced over the last years.
yes. Yeah, of course. So tonight we don't have everything planned out, but we'll take you through some history of the stone quarry. We'll talk about, of course, our own, getting to know each other there, but our own experiences there as well. Yeah, Daniel has some other experience with crystal searching there than I have because he started somewhere else with searching for crystals, right,
Yeah, I
Daniel?
actually started in Germany in Sauerland, which is just across the
Yeah,
border from my hometown. So that's where I began this hobby.
yeah. And for me, it's where my hobby started. So it's a little other start point, but yeah, as you can see this live stream, it is the point where we really got to know each other, and that's for us very important, of
Exactly. It's
course.
also kind of a personal message or story within this live stream is that this is the location where we actually met each other. So more or less without the Yuchem, this live stream wouldn't take place at all because we wouldn't have met each other.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll enjoy that moment later in this live stream. We'll show you some pictures and some
Sure.
videos, of course. But yeah, some of the history, as I said, some of our experiences there, but also, of course, some crystals we found there. And yeah, we'll go deeper
Yeah.
into that. Of course, when you have a question, please write it in our YouTube chat, and we'll try to answer it directly. Um, yeah, everything is welcome. So please join us. And if you want to support us, it's also possible. Last time we said it already at the end of our live stream, but now we can say it up front. If you want to support us, you can voluntarily, how do you say, super chat, or what was it,
Yeah,
Daniel?
well, of course, you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't
Yeah,
already. But we've also enabled super chat and super thanks, which is a feature within the YouTube chats right there, that you can help to support our cause. Because as you know, Mineralenwereld is fully on our own account, and it's voluntarily work that we do for you. So any bits that you have that you can support us with will allow us to make more content in the future.
exactly what you say. So I can't agree more.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
for now.
Yeah, I would like to suggest that we start with a bit of history, where again, people asking questions or make your remarks in the chat wherever you see fit. We can start off with some nice pictures that we have. I've got some nice photos from you, Kristian, when you were still young, without a beard, but also
Yeah.
myself without a beard and less gray hair. Um, and that's even before we met. So if it's okay with you, I'll switch those on and give the word to you to explain a bit on what's going on, which is a bit of a
Yes.
history
Good.
of the Juchem. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Of course. Yeah. As I said, my hobby started in stone quarry Juchem. I got the chance to start there because of my parents, because they found a camping site somewhere in the neighborhood of the quarry, and you can search your own crystals there. And of course, the whole region of Oberstein, I'll get into it later, is known for its crystals and everything what's got to do with it. But for me, it started around 1998. Well, now I'm 35, so you can count what time it is. But you can see it here in the picture. It's me a little bit younger, without a beard, as you say, Daniel. But you see me with my dad working in the stone quarry Juchem. For me, it's the first, really, the first photo I have found what's really in the quarry with somebody, and I'm looking for crystals. So this was kind of cool, of course, to have it. Also, it's a picture with my dad, of course, but also, in my opinion, I see this picture in the emotion of how happy I am working with crystals and searching for crystals. So this was a start photo, yeah, in 1998, and as you can see, we were a little younger, a little bit younger. But okay, yeah, it was a good time. If you see the other pictures, this is one of them. Stone quarry Juchem is near Niederwörisbach. It's a German village there near Oberstein. And yeah, it was eventually more than one quarry. It were two quarries. Also quarry Bernhard. And that's in this picture
Yep.
on the top side of the
Exactly. It's on the
photo.
other side of the road.
Exactly, yeah. It's on the verge on another village. So at this moment, this is a very, very old picture, but at this moment, Quarry Bernhard is closed for years now, but it had the same, or kind of the same geology, and also the findings as in rock crystal, amethyst, smoky quartz, and geodes in the saying of Juchem.
Was it owned by the same company, by the way?
Yes, from my knowledge, yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. And they broke, well, yeah, broke is the wrong word maybe, but the road in between those two quarries was built later because the road went through the quarry Juchem. I don't have a picture of that, but friends of mine have those pictures because they came there earlier than I started there with crystal prospecting. But the road went really through the quarry, so it was, you came with your car and you drove near the Weiherschleife or the Schleife. How do you say in English? Schleife. In
Well,
Germany,
is it like a stone cutting company done by
yeah,
water?
maybe
Yeah,
that's
I don't
that's
know how you
the
otherwise would
translated.
call
Yeah,
it. Stone cutter. There's these.
I have to say my German is better maybe than English at that front. But yeah, you went through the quarry, and at the right side or at the left side, you saw the two quarries. And afterwards, when the company Juchem, the firma Juchem, became bigger, yeah, they split it more in half and made the road better, and also it's going around the quarry at the moment. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really in different times different to be there. But okay, in that picture you see different crystal prospectors. I don't know the exact date from this picture. It could be 1998.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be a little bit later, but it won't be more than 2000. So yeah, for that moment, it was good. I got to know some friends there. There were a lot, but really a lot of people from the Netherlands. So it was for me easy as a kid to make connections and also learn from them. Because when I started there, it wasn't like, oh, I know how to search for crystals. No, it's more as in, you want to get to know the environment and also how can I find crystals. So I was really pleased that people would help me, and I've got some really nice friends at the moment from that time. But also, it's good to see those pictures back.
There's actually a couple of locations or areas in this quarry that have different names, and for the people
Yes.
who have been here, they are really familiar with those names. What's the location that we're looking at right now? I know that there's one at the back, and this one has a particular name, but
You have multiple areas. You've got the krone, the crown, as in this. So, but this picture is really old. This area isn't there anymore, logically, but it's also filled up with clay. And now the quarry road is going through this area in the middle of the quarry.
But this is actually the old wall of the of the crown, right? Just behind,
it was
just a bit behind your picture itself.
That's really old times.
And then there's the famous waterfall or wasserfall. This is the location, I think, just on the left of this picture, which was probably the best place, at least in my opinion, when I was there. We do have some videos and finds of that location, and there's a few others. Can you name the other ones as well?
Well, that's a good question.
Just a couple, just a couple, not all of them.
Maybe I'm not I'm not in the opportunity to say them all, but now we've got Hungerband, but
the Hungry Wall.
in this live stream, maybe you can translate it like that.
Hungry Wall, indeed.
In this live stream, we won't get into that very much because we are going now for the older days. So maybe it's also a heads up. We are going to make more live streams, of course, and Juchem won't be finished in this live stream, and then we go on with some other themes and finds from those areas. So then you know that up front. But okay, this is what it's typically either Oberstein. This was also in the better days, most people will say. Daniel, did you visit either Oberstein also?
Well, I went there just a couple of times to do groceries. To be honest, I really haven't been actively inside all the museums and all the shops that are there. I do know that over the years in either Oberstein, the whole tourism has shrunk a bit. I wouldn't say collapsed, but it's become less. But there's still so many nice places to visit. You've got the museums, you've got the old stonecutter shops as well, but also a lot of sellers, of course, with really cool crystals, not just regional crystals, but also from the world itself. So I think it's still a good place to visit, even though the Juchem quarry right now is closed. Still allows you to visit this place and just enjoy the scenery.
Good that you mentioned it. Either Oberstein now is a little bit desolated, unfortunately. But as you can see, it's a typical picture of either Oberstein. You can see us in the live stream, but in the picture you can also see the white church, and that's really how either Oberstein is known for. The white church chapel, how you can say, in the mountain. So that's really Ida Oberstein. You also see the museum here in the front with the name Ida Oberstein on it. So my advice would always be, if you are interested in geology, mineralogy, everything that's got to do with it, go to that area. It's not only Ida Oberstein that's interesting, but as Daniel said, musea are interesting there, but also you can see old factories. You can get to a lot of crystal dealers. You can get to search your own crystals there.
It's just cool to see this history from the area, to see what happened here, and just not just the quarry, but also everything that happened.
I've been told, so I can't really say it's 100% true, but I've been told that Ida Oberstein was the best or the biggest region of crystals selling and importing from, for example, areas around the world for Europe.
I can
But
imagine. Yeah.
there was some time in 1960, 70 maybe that China and also Brazil came up, and then that region dried up a little bit. But it was really some area that's famous for crystals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool.
the history says it all.
Indeed, indeed. And then this nice overview from the quarry Juchem itself, just on top of, I think it's the town of Gerach. Is that right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember that correctly. So actually on top of that old quarry Bernard on the other side, or just behind this house a little bit, but you can just perfectly see the size of this quarry. It's just a complete hillside which has been removed and carved out by machines.
Yeah.
Um, where they find this material, it's not basalt, right? It's malafite.
But
What's the name?
andesite,
Andesite, right?
andesite. It's partially
Mm,
basalt, but that's why it's interesting. It's a mixture of several
yeah,
things, and that's why the quarry is so famous for its
yeah,
crystals. But
definitely.
yeah, the geology, I can't tell you everything about it, but it's a mixture of
Right.
things. But andesite is where
Yeah.
the geodes
At
form.
least we know that those geodes form because of being bubbles within the ancient lava when it was
Yeah,
volcanic. Yeah.
exactly. Nice. Yeah, this is a close-up view because you already said it, Daniel, but we're going to take a little bit more information now about one area in the quarry that was really famous and brought maybe or probably the best quality crystals of the Juchem I can imagine, and that's the
Yep.
waterfall or
I was hoping you're
waterfall.
going to say that.
Um, yeah, it was really a small area, a little bit of the right center of
Yeah.
the quarry, and yeah, if you see the pictures now, I know what's coming. But if you
and
see the
and you
pictures
know
now,
what pieces you have on the background and which ones I have
yes,
down here. So not to spoil yet,
yeah,
but we'll show them in a few minutes.
yeah. But that area, wow, that was
Yep.
unbelievably
Yeah.
good.
So this is
Yeah,
one of your finds.
yeah, yeah. I'm not always looking for agate or other materials that have been cut or polished. But if you can you make a full screen of this
Yeah. Let me
picture?
just hide ourselves for a second.
Yeah,
Here you go.
yeah. This is one of my first finds I did in the quarry Juchem. That's why I put it also in here. It's a cool piece because it has multiple different areas and it's combined out of such cool colors
Yeah.
also. So it's not typically a geode or a typical agate you can find. But that's, yeah, one of my first finds I did when I was around 12 years old,
Wow.
maybe
Okay.
10
Then
years old.
you were pretty young then.
Yes, yes. I started there when I was 8.
Cool.
But this came from the quarry itself. And this,
The
yeah,
second find.
this is a
Yeah, this is a beauty.
cool
Yeah,
piece.
I'll hide
Yeah, this
ourselves
is,
again for a second so everyone can enjoy it. I do see
yeah.
whenever I turn you off, there's a bit of a delay, so just wait for a few seconds before you start talking, but that's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good to know. This is, we're going to have more pictures of us at the waterfall area, but this is one of the typical geodes we found there. This is about a centimeter of 40, 30, 40
Wow, it's that
maybe,
big.
but the crystal
Okay.
itself, the
Yeah.
calcite, is really 10 centimeters or more. It's a geode I found with some fence there, and yeah, it was really underneath the road. So this was turned upside down, and this geode was about half a meter, but it was only white because some machine drove over it, and I thought, okay, it was rubbish because yeah, you see all the geode and the white stuff on the
Yeah.
road, and it's like it drove over it, and that's nothing. But as you can see, it was a really cool amethyst
Yeah.
geode with an orange calcite in the
Looks
middle.
really cool.
So this, of course, was a cool
Is
find.
the
Typically,
calcite probably fluorescent, right? I see yeah.
yeah, this is in my
Yeah.
fluorescent cabinet
Cool.
also as well.
Cool. Hopefully you
Yeah.
can show it live on camera in a few minutes, but if it's possible.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, and this is a view of me also without a beard. So it was in around 2010, maybe. waterfall area, and you can see it as for the people who haven't been there in that time, because really in the old days you can go to Juchem every evening after they closed with working. So you went there and you can search for the crystals every night or every day in the
Yeah.
weekend. There was some kind of problems in the later stadium, and then they closed it for a short period of time, and afterwards they opened it, and you could go in every evening after work, but then only when you have a payment, or you have some leader or somebody with you that can show you where you are
Yeah.
able
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
are allowed to search.
When
And it
when
went,
the waterfall was still like this, and I can't remember if it was actually this particular day because we didn't met yet, but that was my first visit to the Juchem, so that was probably in 2011 or so, 2012
yeah, yeah, and
maybe.
you,
So
yeah, of course, and yeah, you know the history as of that point, but I can imagine for myself or remember how I got there every evening with my father or some other
yeah,
crystal collectors and friends of mine. And we got there, okay, some people, employees there, okay, we are done working. Good luck, and yeah, have nice finds. And then you can go in. It was as easy as that. Um, well, yeah, it changed after some period of time. I don't know the exact date anymore, but in 2011, as we got to know each other there, yeah, you had to pay, you had to
yeah.
have a payment, and then you can get in. Also, no problem, but okay, yeah, there were other times before
Exactly.
that.
If it was actually this day that I was there for the first time that we didn't meet, but I like to show the first big find that I actually did, and to be honest, this was like the third or fourth time I ever went crystal hunting. I just started the hobby in this year, and then also my first time in the Juchem. What I found was the top of a geode. Here's the top.
Yeah, cool that you show
I'll
it.
put it on
Yeah.
full screen for a second. Hang on. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Then I'll get the
yeah.
other
So this
piece.
is this was actually the top of the geode. You can really see that it's smooth, which is the outside of the gas bubble, and inside there were small quartz crystals covered with green calcites. See if it focuses a little bit. There you go. Of If I were to find something like this today, to be honest, I probably put it in a bag and never look at it because it's heavily damaged on the sides. But as I mentioned, this was just the top, so for me it was quite cool to find this geode for the first time. I'll show you the other side, which is 10 times bigger and heavier as well, because this is this is the total outside of the geode, where this was the front end. And you can just see the size of it. I think it was even in the rock like this when we found it. And it's, yeah, as you can see, it's completely hollow. Again, unfortunately, it's fully damaged. Most of the calcite crystals and also a lot of the quartz crystals fell off. There is quite a large calcite crystal in the bottom, as you can see right there. I think it's about 10 centimeters or so. So yeah, as a beginner crystal prospector for the first time, I actually jumped a hole through the ceiling finding this. And I still have it in my collection, obviously, because it's the one of the first finds I ever did. But yeah, just wanted to show you that the size of the geodes that you are able to find there. And I think you remember this one, maybe not from the day itself, but you know, you've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool piece, but it's also for you a memory
Exactly.
because it's one
Yeah,
of the first
it
research.
doesn't really
Yeah.
matter anymore that it doesn't look nice anymore. You know, as I mentioned, a lot of damage there. It's just the whole idea of the first time going to the Juchem quarry, experiencing this area, and then finding such a big geode.
Yeah. Hey, I've got some question from some of our viewers at the moment. I saw Eva asking us if there are some other areas or sites that you can search for crystals there because of the Juchem being closed at the moment. So it's good that you ask, Eva. At the moment, it's difficult in that area. There's a lot forbidden to go in, and yeah, at the moment for stone quarries there, it's difficult. But what's really a good alternative is what I also read from other viewers, groeve Clara. But you've got to remember, I live in Tilburg, in the Netherlands. If you drive to the Juchem quarry, it's about 3 hours drive. But if you drive to the groeve Clara, you are 6 hours on the way because you have to go to the Black Forest. So it's really further.
Close to Switzerland.
Yeah, but it is interesting. So it's also different. It's not a quarry, it's a mixture of material that comes from a mine. So it's totally different. But in this area, to come back to the question, what's really interesting is also to go collect agates at farm fields. I don't know how to explain
farm
it better,
fields
but
is the correct word. Yeah.
yeah, that's the best you can say for that, because the area is also interesting for agate hunting. There are a lot of friends of mine that do that. Maybe also some people that are watching at the moment. But you can go to some farm fields that haven't been, yeah, how do you say, sown? Yeah. So when it's really, rough, and you can get onto it when the farmer says it's okay, you can go for agate hunting.
Usually it's a good moment in time when the farmers start plowing the fields, so they already
Yes.
brought in the harvest, so you won't ruin any plants or foods that the crops that they have. And as soon as they start plowing the fields, then of course you might get rocks coming up from the soil, which could be agates. Yeah, and those are in the area as well.
Yeah. But for quarries, unfortunately, at the moment, a lot of it is closed or forbidden. Of course, when we know more or we can give you more information, we'll show that to you. But at the moment, Juchem quarry is forbidden. But okay, Daniel, you asked me also a question to get it. So I got this piece to show it. It's not easy to see on the camera, but here you see.
Oh, but we can see the nice yellow calcites and the dark smoky quartz. That is actually a pretty decent good piece.
Yeah,
I'm
of course. Yeah, it's
congratulating
cool.
you. Just like it means that I'd never seen it before, but obviously I've seen it. Just acting
Yeah.
like I'm surprised.
Wow.
Very
No,
very
cool.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. We're halfway through our live stream, so we'll get onto it.
Yep.
But this is also a typical geode in host rock. It's cool to see. It's rough as it is. I love it when you find it like this and you don't have to cut or polish it. That's also for you, Daniel, as well, right? You love the rough
I do,
pieces,
yeah.
not the
I'm
cut
personally, I'm
part.
not such a big fan of polished rocks and agates,
Yeah.
but I really appreciate the roughness and the, when you look at geodes, when there's quartz and calcite overgrowth, just because of the, what's the word, aesthetic view. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is also, it's cool to see. Well,
Here you go.
yeah, we'll make the full
Yep.
screen again. I put my hammer on the top as a comparison. It's not a hammer from a
Oh, you can
kilo.
see it in the
It's my
top right corner. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
the
yeah.
edge. Yeah.
It's a 5 kilo hammer. This geode is also here in my display case, but this is a geode that came out of it in one piece. As you see it right there, this was this rock was about a meter or one and a
Yeah.
half,
Yeah.
maybe two. And it was massive as it could be. So I worked around half an hour or an hour on this piece to get it out. So this is typically how you find it there, or you can find it there. Fluorescent yellow calcite on a host a rock crystal outside. Yeah, it's cool to have. I'll show you it in a later stadium when I have the time, but typically Juchem material. What can I say
This
more?
one is really cool. I like this one. I think it's actually on our
Yeah,
flyer, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
recognize it. I
Yeah,
recognize it. If some
yeah, it's a close-up
some of
view.
your of the viewers in here have ever met us on events such as in The Hague, in Rijswijk, and you've gotten hold of one of our green flyers, then you should recognize this piece. Really cool.
Yeah, a close-up of a
Yeah.
calcite. this is aesthetic as I want it to be. This is cool.
And undamaged. This is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is typically also in host rock, the geodes that are there. We said it in front, but Daniel started searching for crystals in 2011 in Juchem, but that was in the waterfall area. There were so many, and I really mean it, so many geodes in one small packed area in the quarry. It was unbelievable. You can see this here. Those geodes are about 20 centimeters, but the whole wall was covered with it. All rocks that were there or blasted, it was full.
Yeah, you saw it really clear on the one of the previous pictures where you were standing just on the left of the camera. You could see in the back wall there was just tens of geodes visible. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool, nice piece. This was an ice geode. It was so cold that day, this geode I found, but there was ice in it. So multiple crystals I found, but one disappeared after half a day.
The biggest one. It
exactly.
melted away. Cool.
It melted away, yeah. Yeah, now we've got some close-ups as well. Not all typical Juchem finds.
This is rather unique, isn't it? Or is it marcasite?
Yeah, it's marcasite or a pyrite.
One, yeah.
Say it one of two with harmotome. It's the small whitish.
Yeah. Well, I figured it doesn't look like quartz. That's harmotome on the purple amethyst, I guess. Yeah.
Amethyst. Okay, yeah.
Cool. Nice combination also. What's the size of this? A couple of millimeters probably.
Yeah, the marcasite is maximum 1 centimeter.
Okay. But still really cool if you got the close up like this. It's kind of a nice combination having 3 different minerals on top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, for this area also very seldom because you find a lot of geodes. That sounds a bit spoiled, but you find a lot of geodes, but not with those crystals inside it. It's mostly amethyst, rock crystal, or
really cool.
Maybe smoky quartz. That's also more seldom, and then calcite in it. But there are around 10 or 20 other crystals you can find inside the geodes that are very rare, like this.
That's your first slide, Kristian. Really nice. I think that covers the history really well, or at least the history for you when you started all the way up until we actually met each other in 2011. So yeah, thanks for that. Really cool, nice overview of the different locations, nice finds, obviously also. Do you have some other pieces right with you now that you could show from that time, or?
Yeah, I can show you my whole display case. But my proposal would be, it's good maybe if you start with our getting to know each other there and your
we'll do that.
slides, then I'll see what I can find.
Sure, we'll do. I'll switch to 2011, which was the year that we actually met one another. Hang on just a second. Yes, here we go.
Yeah, that's the start.
Okay, so as mentioned in 2000. Oh, it's not going well. Here we go. In 2011, I think we met, not specifically in the Juchem, but we met on an online forum for prospectors or people who were interested. And I remember that one of the questions was, okay, there's a trip towards the Steinbruch Juchem, who wants to join? And because we already spoke online, I think this was the first day that we actually said to each other, okay, let's go together. So we booked, or at least I booked, a room at the camping Harvermühle, where you at the time and still have this holiday house. And then we went here for I think 2 days.
Maximum.
But this was already in the time that they blocked off certain areas of the quarry. I remember that was a big red and white security ribbon at the end of the waterfall on the edge that we couldn't pass. There was also 1 or 2 security agents accompanying this group. It's quite a large group actually, about 30 to 40 people. In a really small area. You can see how packed these people are, but everyone started digging as a madman and getting all those geodes out. So I do see a lot of familiar faces in this picture. This is really nice to see.
A lot of
Yeah,
friends,
yeah,
yeah, and
really cool,
familiar
really
Dutch
cool.
faces as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, perfect picture of the I think one of the last parts of the waterfall area. This was a really nice end of it, and there were just behind. I'll hide our pictures. Um, you could actually see the white spots in the wall, which are geodes, but we weren't allowed to go there. It was like 5 meters next to us, but the red and white ribbon was there to protect us not only from yeah from falling rocks, but I think the whole area was too unstable. Yeah, perfect picture of this one. I remember this one. This we were actually working just on top of the ledge. So there was you see some people on the right side with the oh they all have yellow helmets. Well, on the right side anyway. And there was quite a large drop back to the a lower level. It was about I don't know 20-25 meters. So what you see happening there is a lot of people do take care of each other and they check everyone. Okay, don't work too close to the edge. You know, it's dangerous. So it's kind of a family of people checking each other. Oh, I see a really cool question in the chat from Bas. What's the greatest or most beautiful crystal that you ever found? Well, to be honest, the best crystal I ever found personally was in Switzerland, so not in the Juchem. But I do have the find that which for me was the best in the Juchem specifically, and it was actually on this day in 2011. So I'll show it in a few minutes. It's a uh, almost black smoky quartz with red calcite crystals on it. So show you in a few minutes, boss. Ah, another familiar face. One
Yeah,
of our friends from the northern part of the Netherlands. Yeah, we always go with familiar faces when we go mineral hunting, especially in the Juchem. You know, Johan. This is Johan. He always joins us there. So actually, a cool geode on the background there between the two people. Quite a large one. You can
yeah.
see it. It's yeah, it's probably smoke.
It was a great way of
Yeah,
prospecting. Yeah, everyone found
definitely,
a lot
definitely.
of nice
I
crystals.
think this picture really shows how you search on such locations. It's not just in the wall. You can also find inside the ground itself. So you can dig holes because, well, those geodes are in the rock everywhere. So if you just dig down, you will eventually find them as well. That's where people that couldn't reach the walls because it was too crowded, yeah, they would do that as well. They would just dig holes and see what they could find.
Yeah,
What Johan is doing. I like his combination though. He always has the hat on, and then his helmet.
yes,
Oh, I have to hide ourselves again because this is finally me in the picture.
yeah. Your first
Yeah,
day or not,
not
Daniel?
well. No, this was my second time in Juchem, but my first day with you.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And as you can see, don't have a beard here, so kind of a young face. This was actually the place that I found this really cool piece. Let me just grab it for a second here. I can show you in a few minutes. Okay, so what I did here is I was digging a hole in the ground because I was kind of working on the edge of the quarry. But then I found a really cool geode, and it's this one. There you go. You,
yeah.
you
That's
can see
nice.
it shiny. The outside layer is pretty wide actually. You see the background? It's again smooth surface. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other piece. It probably fell down the edge, but it's really nice dark smoky quartz crystals, and there's red and gray calcites on top of it. So if I wanted, I could remove the calcites to see all the smoky quartz crystals, but I really like the color difference where it shows red and gray on top of yeah, dark brown, darkish color So Bas, answering your question, what's the nicest piece that you ever found? For me in the Juchem, it's this one.
Yeah, I'll add another short answer to another question. I see Jannis is asking what a similar location could be, like Juchem isn't open at the moment. Yeah, it's a little bit like Eva also asked. As in a quarry like this quality of crystals, it isn't at the moment. It's really, really to cry. Um, yeah, you can't say in Europe as well that there's a, yeah, they also have this kind of
Mhm.
crystallization in Poland also, but not as in this quality of crystals, as in geodes. I can't answer the question any better than that, unfortunately. For us as well as hobby crystal searchers, this is not
No.
cool. It's one of the best places in Europe that have been closed down.
Juchem has always been like the Valhalla for crystal prospectors. So when we heard, I think it was just prior to Corona, then that they closed down and that they didn't reopen until, yeah, who knows when. Then it was
Yeah,
yeah, it was really a uh, yeah, bad news for prospecting people like us.
yeah. So I can't help you, or we can't help you at the moment for a similar area to search for crystals like this.
We have to do it with live streams like this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's another nice photo of a geode that was found by someone. I like the outside color as well. You can really see the different color of the geode, which is green, apart from the host rock itself, which is grayish, bit of reddish. So also finding geodes to look at the color of it helps you identify it. And yeah, there's really nice red calcite crystals in there. Cool piece. It's not yours, isn't it?
No, it isn't my
No.
find. No. Same
Same
overview
overview
as
again.
yeah, as
Yeah,
we spoke
perfect.
about.
You can see everyone digging yeah, in all these small boulders, turning them around, smashing them into pieces, see if there's geodes inside, and if not, digging holes in the ground to find more rocks and smashing those around. And you could break small rocks. You see someone at in the back of the picture breaking this huge boulder. There are chances that they hold geodes. You never know. Okay,
Yeah, and then
we're
we're
back.
back at the
Yep,
beginning again.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2011 when we actually first met. Um, there's a nice picture of this that was used in an official Juchem book. I think you have it. Let me put you on. You got it
Yeah,
right there. Can I put it on full screen?
yeah, I can show you. A short introduction. This book isn't written by me, but it's made in what should it be around 5 6 years
Yeah, I think it
ago.
was
It's a
2016
Juchem,
or so. Yeah.
or maybe older. Yeah, it's the Juchem book or Juchem book. I'll show you here. And if you see,
It's the same picture, 2011, and we are the two people on the left. Yeah, that's
yeah,
us. The,
yeah,
the the blue cap and the white cap. That's us. And that was the same day that we met for the first time. The pictures that you just saw. And we're
yeah.
actually on the cover of a book. That's really cool.
And of course, there are multiple other pictures and interviews in the book where I am also in it, but also other crystal
Yeah.
prospectors that went there, hobbyists that show their some greatest finds. Yeah, the book, I don't know if you can buy it at this moment, but it's really cool to see the history of the Juchem and also everything in between, as in what has been found, etc.,
Definitely,
etc.
definitely. Chris, I've got a video
Yeah,
just a few years later. So we covered the history. We covered 2011, which was the year that we met in the Juchem. But we actually went there together again in, well, the years after, but with a greater group in 2015 under the
yeah,
guidance of, for maybe some other people, the well-known Wim Buik, who is the agate expert of the area. He's Dutch, by the way. He organized a trip there where we also joined, and we really that I think it was not, no, it wasn't in the Wasserfall area, but it was in the Juchem. And
Yeah, true. It was another
yeah,
area,
we
but
found really cool amethyst there. So let's switch over to that one. I've got a video of you, so you can narrate yourself if you want, because I
yeah, well,
turned off the audio, otherwise you hear us and yourself, which doesn't make sense. But I think here you're explaining about this particular area.
yeah, a short introduction for these videos. We made some videos in the time that Corona was there, and one of those videos was Mineral with a Story or Mineraal met een verhaal. And yeah, this find and this searching in 2015 with Daniel, yeah, I put it in this video because I wanted to show you how crazy it can be if
Yeah,
you find a geode
exactly.
that,
Ah, there you
yeah,
go.
doesn't look interesting like
Yeah.
that, but turns out to be the one of the coolest finds I did there. Not the coolest one, but if you see this this video, you'll know more. Yeah, okay. You see the Juchem quarry. This area we found a lot of things, but it's a large area. We were allowed to search for
Yeah.
crystals. Yeah, here are some overviews. Other friends were looking for crystals there in those huge boulders. And yeah,
Still some
yeah,
machines
here
there.
you see a
Yeah.
machine. Yeah, it's a good comparison how big the
Yeah,
boulders
and
are.
how big the quarry is, because you see these people are just like ants. They're really small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and this is one blasted area. It's fresh material. And in this picture, you can see it in a moment. But I was looking in this area with the arrows. Those green boulders, they were
Yeah.
interesting because I am a little bit more experienced in where or what crystals could be where in the Juchem. And the green boulders could host some nice amethyst or smoky quartz. I found one geode around 10 centimeters, and Wim is cutting it here at the spot. So then in that time, there was also a place to cut the crystals. And he wanted to see it first. That was a good,
Cool.
yeah, as you can see, that was a good surprise. He opened it. Wow. And there was a broken calcite in it, but it is an amethyst with calcite. I didn't know what to make of it. And I broke out the calcite. And afterwards, if it was fully prepared, it came out like you see now in this video.
Is wow. That is a really
Darker than dark
amethyst.
amethyst.
I would even say an amethyst like this you would find in Brazil, but it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Really
this
cool.
quality, that's
Really cool,
amazing.
really
This
cool.
is in my cabinet, of
Yeah.
course. That day was great. There were multiple finds,
Yeah,
of course, but
exactly.
I filmed
Exactly.
this one. But for this location, for Juchem, if you want to search for crystals, it was interesting. Now you can't do it, but this kind of amethyst, I don't know if you can find it anymore somewhere in Germany at the moment.
No.
If so, you are
You're
lucky.
really lucky. Yeah,
And
definitely. Definitely.
maybe you want to share it because we don't know any different places that are this interesting like Juchem was.
Yeah. I've got some pieces as well of that day, because as I mentioned, it was 2015. Let me just switch that on. We prepared this day, by the way, because I stayed over, and you could see my old
Yeah.
car completely filled with bags and crates with all the equipment, and most importantly, paper. Lots of paper, so you can pack all your finds. Oh, look at that! Look at how cute! Look at how cute they are.
Wow. What?
I just had to put this picture in. It's
Yeah. It's the beginning of more.
exactly. Yeah, there's you just in front of the entrance. Maybe a nice story when and so, Chris, don't feel attacked by this, but now for everyone who's watching the stream to know, whenever we go crystal hunting together, as soon as we arrive at the location and I want to go in or go up the mountain or start digging, Chris also always sits down and says, "I need something to eat."
Yes. I can
And I
totally
always have to
agree.
wait like 10 minutes. There hasn't been a time that this didn't happen. It's always you eating.
Yeah. It builds up our tension to find some nice crystals or to go prospect.
I just want to go in.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Well, you can see in this picture it's the same location, so that that wall where we were allowed to dig, and just a small picture of the machine on top. It's quite a large wall, so like 25, 30 meters high. You don't want to fall down there. I made a picture of this one in the wall. I remember that you said this was a lava bomb or basalt
Yeah,
bomb.
this has been growing otherwise in other, I can't say direction, but that's the mixture of all the stones that are in
Yeah.
Juchem. But it's
Yeah, I
cool.
liked it because it was a geological mark inside the wall, so I just made a picture and then you explained that story.
Yeah.
No geodes there, so we continued quickly on. One of the first finds I did. So let me just hide our screens. This was a small light, light, slightly purple amethyst with a calcite in. Or actually, I think John made this find. I can't remember having this one in my cabinet. But it was a really nice one because we what we saw is that there was a rock which was a bit greenish, and on the rock itself you could see all these small spots where you can see one at the the top left corner and the bottom right corner, and these are actually also small geodes with calcite growth in or quartz growth inside. So we cut open this rock with a big hammer, and then completely through the middle we found this nice large amethyst geode. Oh, cool piece. Yeah, another picture of how it looked when we were on top of that second ledge where the machine was. It's just, you know, those areas are huge. It's you feel so small when you're in such a quarry. Yeah, this is a piece that I have here. It was one part of the geode. I also have the other part. And the problem with this one, however, was that there was a crack through the rocks which completely damaged it in half. So I wasn't able to take this piece, but I do have the other side, which is much more clear. I'll show you that in a few seconds. That was nice, and still the same color, so a bit of a light purplish color. Some calcite on top. I managed to remove the calcites by using hydrochloric acid, so that you can see a full view of all the amethyst crystals and not having those damaged calcites on top. Oh, here you can see the rock itself, where it was still part of a larger piece, which we of course had to trim down a bit, but we managed to do that, so that was cool. Close up. You see the brown calcite crystal inside of it from on the small side. That happens quite often in the Juchem, where you have geodes filled with amethyst and quartz crystals, and there's usually one big calcite crystal grown inside. Yeah,
Nice,
this is a
nice.
cool one.
The opposite side.
It's the opposite side. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, another small close-up of the other side where you can see the calcite crystal again. Of course, heavily damaged because that went all the way through. But still, it's nice to have finds like this. And if you can trim them down pretty well, then they're nice to have in your cabinet because of the color. Okay, back to full screen. I have some of the pieces right here just to give you an idea on how they look after cleanup. Of course, the lighting here isn't as good as on the pictures when you're outside, but just to give you an idea. Starting off with this one. As you can see, it trimmed down pretty decently.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. The light isn't as how nice it is
Exactly,
in
yeah.
real life. But
When you're outside, then they usually show really purplish, but when you're inside, or in my case, I don't really have studio lighting here, then they become a bit more light pinkish, but it's actually quite a nice purple color. This one I particularly like because it's much deeper, as you can see. It's quite cool.
It's Yeah, and the host rock, that's the cool part of it. It's also the contrast of the host rock with the geode.
Exactly.
It's the green with the purple. It's typically this area in the Juchem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really nice. And
nice.
you know, it's quite fun as we cut it open, and as you can see, there's a small geode at the top and at the back here as well. So these are points of
Yeah,
reference, because usually you don't see a geode like this. You see a geode like this, just as a rock. But if you see these small indications on smaller traces of quartz and calcite, it could be worth to open up such a rock and hopefully find this. Yeah, some smaller pieces. Here is a geode that actually fell out. So it was completely smooth. It fell out the rock, and it turned out to be hollow as well. But again, with the
cool.
lighting, yes, just a small piece. But still, the color is nice, and it's amethyst. So that's what we're looking for, obviously, to find these
Yeah,
these nice pieces. Yeah.
yeah. I can show also two things I
Sure.
found in earlier
I'll put you
days.
on full screen for a second.
Yeah, then we are nearly at the end of our live stream. But first of all, I start off with this. I don't have a picture of it, but hopefully it's good to see.
Ah, it's a polished one.
It's a polished one, but it's a dark amethyst. And also the contrast of it is very nice. It's yellow calcite in the middle,
Yep.
and then the almost blackish purple amethyst. And this one, it isn't typical Juchem. It's more like a Brazilian or Uruguay geode. An amethyst, as dark as
But
it
it
can
is
get.
from the
But
but
it's
you
from
say it's
Juchem.
not typically Juchem, but it is from the Juchem.
Yeah, it's not typical. Yeah, I showed it
Yep.
somebody, and somebody said to me, "No, this is not from Juchem. This is from Brazil." I said, "No, this quality is
You
from
found it
Juchem."
there.
So, yeah, it's in my display case.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's what I have. Yeah, for now, we have shown some people what we found.
I've got one
Some
more
more
nice
pieces.
piece, Kristian, and once
Yeah,
you see it, you say, "Oh, that piece." I think on one of the first times that we met, I was looking through your pieces in the garden, and there was a calcite covered geode, and you mentioned, "Yeah, I don't really like it. You know, you can pick some stuff if you want." So I took it home, and I removed it with hydrochloric acid. No, I don't know if you remember this piece, by the way, but I sent you a picture that a couple of years ago. You said, "What? What's that?" Yeah, that's the calcite piece that was in your garden. I'll put this
okay.
to myself.
I'm curious.
So it was red on the outside. I think it's from the krone, but it
Ah,
was this one.
yeah, wow.
And it was, as I said, it was completely covered with calcite, so you couldn't see any of this. But I just removed it, and it looked like this. There's
That's how it's supposed
yeah,
to
it's
be.
really
And now,
slightly smoky quartz. I think it's maybe even just quartz, but with a little bit of limonite inside. But there's also yeah, small spheres on top, probably marcasite crystals.
it's a nice piece.
So thank you.
Yeah, as everybody,
Thank you.
yeah, as everybody knows, we are at the end of our live stream, but I saw a very important question because I want to end this live stream with you, Daniel, if you agree,
Perfect.
with a message. And I've got to see Ludo is asking us a good question. How is it possible that the quarry is still closed for crystal prospectors? Um, I don't know the whole reason. If you go to the website of Quarry Juchem, you read a lot. There has been some problems. There has been some things that aren't allowed, that aren't good, and we don't support, of course. But for us as hobbyists, the quarry could be opened, in my opinion. I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of Dutch people, German people, people that want to open the quarry, and I believe that people are working on it. Honestly, if somebody can help us or maybe other people to get it open again, please do, because it's for us a hobby, it's a passion, it's the love for crystals, not something else. And we want to do it in the right way, and everybody wants to go back to Quarry Juchem. In the history, maybe that's a recap a little bit. The quarry also was closed for almost a year or maybe 2 years because of things that happened in the quarry or near the quarry. And then people found it too, how do you say, too dangerous to go inside. Okay, that could be the reason, but even then, if you look to Groeve Clara or to Calcaire de la Sambre in Belgium, or I don't know, do you know the quarry in Sauerland, Daniel, that also has been opened for crystal prospectors? What's it called? I always forgot the name.
No, I'm sorry, I can't remember. There's a couple of quarries that are semi-accessible there, but I don't know which one you mean. Is it near
Yeah, there are
Warstein or?
Yeah, you can go there as well with the group, and then you can search for calcite crystals.
Hohenlimburg?
The large, sorry?
Hohenlimburg? That one? That one.
Yes, thanks for
Yeah,
adding that. Yeah.
Hohenlimburg.
So, Ludo and other viewers and everyone that's viewing this, other quarries can get open with restrictions and good restrictions, even if you pay a fee to get in and you have applied to the rules. So, in my opinion, if other quarries can do that in Germany, Belgium, other countries, Juchem can do that as well. So, my advice would be do what you can to help other people open it again in the right conditions.
Yeah, well
I don't
said.
know if you can add
No,
that.
well said,
Yeah, okay.
Kristian. I think it's good to emphasize to such quarry owners the importance of tourism also, because it's not just people going there digging for crystals, but it also adds to the local area itself. You know, if you look at either Oberstein, for example, there's a lot of people that would like to go crystal hunting in the Juchem and then also go to the either Oberstein city itself to visit some museums or shops there. And the same applies to any other quarries. So yeah, the most that you can do is indeed keep on sending emails, keep on sending requests, and asking to support the cause, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for adding that. I think that's a recap for everything we can say about that. But it's a good question, and we don't have the answer, but we hope to see in the future that we can go inside again with all friends that want to go crystal hunting there. And I miss the times. Daniel, I speak for you, but you miss it as well. I can't imagine you don't. So yeah, let's hope, and yeah, let's do our best to reopen it in the best way and the good way.
Definitely.
Yeah, so for me, I want to thank everybody that has been watching. And yeah, we said it already. We can get more of, live views with the main team Juchem, because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to view and to show. So it won't be the last time. Yeah, for now, if you have a question, you can always send us an email or go to our website, social media, and see if you can reach us, but also see what we have been doing in the last time and in the future. So please follow us everywhere and support us whenever you can.
And then if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, there's a small green button here next to me, right there. It says Mineralenwereld. If you click it, you can follow us here and get updated on whenever we have new live streams or put new videos. We try to upload new content on a weekly basis. If we have been prospecting, obviously. But keep an eye out on, especially on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook for new photos and new videos.
Exactly. Well, thanks for
Thank you.
watching. And we'll see each other the next time in another live stream.
Excellent. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.